I still got fuel in here. You see it squirting directly down the side of the carb here. You know what? See how it's squirting directly straight back? So what we're going to do, what we're going to attempt to do, because I don't know how easy this one's going to move, we need to move the nozzle so it's pointing directly at the needle down there. Directly at the needle, down the center of the carb to break up the fuel stream a little bit. On older carbs, like if you look at this one here, that's stock nozzle compared to this one, which is round. I'm pretty sure that's the Thunderjet, Dynajet Thunderjet kit is what it looked like. That one actually moved pretty easy, so I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me zoom this thing in again. Looks like I may need to go back to the right just a little bit. Okay, let's check that now. I think that's hitting right on the needle. So that's it for adjusting that needle there, or adjusting that nozzle. Same thing goes with stock. You can adjust the stock one. Usually when I put these Thunder nozzles in there, or Thunderjet, whatever the hell it's called when they did those before, always put the nozzle pointing directly at the needle there. Just made more sense to do it like that. So that's it for adjusting that. And I'm going to pull the top off here now and check to see what needle we got in there and what position it's in, and I'll probably change the main jet on this thing too. Okay, this is what I was talking about on the accelerator pump. All right, when you go to take this screw off the side of the carb here, it's usually best to take a pair of vice grips and break it loose first, because they almost never want to come off. And you'll end up tearing the threads off it, tearing the head off of it. So just give it a little help there. Thought I was done with carburetors this week, but guess not. All right, well that got pretty ugly. I had to drill the last one out. But yeah, I tore the fucking diaphragm. So it's a good thing I got another diaphragm over there. Let's see what we got here. Then we got a stock damn needle, bone stock, with a Thunder nozzle on the float ball. So I don't know. Let me see if this slide's been drilled or not. Nope. Still got the stock slide hole in there. Slide hadn't even modified. Neither is the spring. So we're gonna shim this needle, or we're gonna go through what needles we got, and replace this diaphragm I just screwed up. So be careful. I know I say be careful, and then you end up drilling holes through it or tearing it. I tore it. But now we know, so we know we need to put at least one shim under there. And I'll go ahead and modify the other. So we go up, I'll start off with one shim on here. And we'll see how that does. And might end up having to put two shims, but let me go through my needle box and see what I got for different needles. Something with a little bit thinner taper than this one, where it's tapered right there. If it's thinner down here, that means it's going to be richer. So let's see what we got here. All right, well I wasn't planning on pulling carb all the way off to do this, but Here it is. Might as well check the float height while we're in here. Verify that. See what main jet we got in here and what pilot jet. Since I really don't have a clue what either one of them is in here. Check the float at that. I'm going to go ahead and pull that out of there and check the emulsion tube and the main jet, and I'll pull out the intermediate too and see what we got for that thing, or pilot jet, whatever you want to call it, slow speed jet. All right, we did have number 45 in there. Let me go ahead and stick the float bowl back on. We got a 185 main, 45 intermediate, and I don't have any. Well, I got different needles, but they're all basically the same, so not really different at all. We'll go ahead and shim this needle up and use one of my modified springs in here. And hopefully we get this thing done today before the rain comes. It's supposed to rain today. It's supposed to rain, I think, the rest of this week. Shim box over here. We can shim this needle up. We're going to start with one shim. We're going to ride it like that, and then we'll see how it does. We might need to take it top back off and put another shim in there. We'll see. Yeah, I do actually have a box of jets, but these are all Mikuni mains, so they're not going to work. So we're just going to use the drilled one I just drilled in there and put some shims on the needle. All right, got our shim in there. Got our other, our good diaphragm in there. The slide lift hole's been drilled out on this one, so it should be good. Amazon truck just pulled up. So let me grab some screws and my other spring. All right, we're going back together with it now. We've got everything bolted up. I doubt I'll ride it today. But looks like it's getting ready to pour rain out. And I haven't eaten lunch yet, so. Let me bolt this backing plate back up here. We'll have everything ready to go, and I'll come back out here tonight and bolt the gas tank back down. And hook the enricher back up over there. Got a couple of gas tanks to do. Got a top end to do on an S&S 103. And got to make some service calls out of town. I'll probably have to pull the transmission on this thing. Well, not probably. I'm going to have to pull the transmission on it because it's, I'll just say skipping. If you've ever had a bike with a transmission with a bent shift fork, you'll know what I'm talking about, because that's exactly what it feels like, bent shift fork. It only does it in first gear. Somebody said it was the clutch. I'm like, nah, clutch won't do it only in first gear. Clutch does the exact opposite. Clutch problems usually turn up in higher gears under a higher load, not taking off from a damn light. Then it goes, so I know it's dogs are rounded off on first gear. This bike was wrecked before, so probably bent a shift fork when it wrecked. Harleys aren't really known for having transmission problems, not like metric bikes are. I'll put it to you this way: I've done a hell of a lot more transmission rebuilds on inline fours than by far anything else. They usually wreck and they drop it, and usually takes out first or second gear on them things. I've had them before where a guy brings the bike in for a service and you take it out and ride it, and you put it in first gear and all it does is make noise. And then you mention it to the customer, and you're like, oh, well, I just take off in second gear. Okay. Oh, yeah, sounds great. Let me put this velocity stack back on there. Just read some reviews on this velocity stack, and it was kind of strange. Some of the people that bought them said that they didn't fit at all, and they sent them back and got their money back. And then somewhere else I looked, they had product review for them, and that, you know, of course on those it said, works great, it's the best thing since sliced bread. So, you know, I got one on the off chance that somebody was installing it the wrong way. You know, we're trying to install it because there's a way this thing goes on here. Stock air cleaner, the holes aren't symmetrical really. So, you know, maybe they were trying to put it on there the wrong way and just couldn't get it to fit. And evidently I should have believed them, because it really didn't fit. So you notice I didn't put any Loctite on these, because truth is I'm probably going to have to take this thing back off here if I need to do any more jetting to it. So I'll ride it tomorrow if it doesn't rain, or maybe later today if it doesn't rain, tonight, whatever, and see how it does with the jetting we got. And if it's good, I can throw some Loctite on here. It's good enough for me. Let's go eat some lunch and chill out in the AC for a little while. Now we know that our carburetor should be jetted a lot better. I think having the stock needle in here was part of the mid-range stumble there. And I know you guys couldn't see it or even hear it because interference from the microphone. I got a new setup I'm trying tomorrow or later today as far as the recording goes and all that stuff. We'll try it and see how it goes. But back to the carb, it had a 170 main in this thing, which, you know, that's a little small. It did have a 45 intermediate, which I think I put that in there originally because these things came with like a 40 or a 42, which are way too lean to begin with. And the thing had a stock needle in it, but I shimmed it, and I might need to pull it back off and throw another shim on there. I'll find out tomorrow. And we adjusted fuel nozzle, accelerator pump nozzle to hit the needle. So other than that, stay tuned for part 2. I'll ride this thing, like I said, either later today or more than likely tomorrow, because it's getting pretty ugly looking out, and the wind's starting to pick up. So it's calling for major thunderstorms today. We'll find out. At least it'll cool it off some. And thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for the support. I appreciate every one of you. Have a great week. Thank you.